Most people get deep sleep completely wrong.
Into stages 3 and 4 non-REM sleep, several remarkable things happen. All of a sudden, my heart rate really does start to drop. Hundreds of thousands of cells in my cortex all decide to fire together, and then they all go silent together. And it's this remarkable physiological coordination of the likes that we just don't see during any other brain state. I will then stay there for about another 20 or 30 minutes. So now I'm maybe 60 or 70 minutes into my first sleep cycle. And then I'll start to rise back up into stage 2 non-REM sleep. And then after about 80 or so minutes, I'll pop up and I'll have a short REM sleep period. And then back down I go again, down into non-REM, up into REM. And you do that reliably, repeatedly, and I will be doing that every 90 minutes. At least that's the average for most adults. In the first half of the night, the majority of those 90-minute cycles are comprised of lots of deep non-REM sleep. That's when I get my stage 3 and 4 of deep non-REM sleep. Once I push through to the second half of the night, now that seesaw balance changes, and instead the majority of those 90-minute cycles are comprised either of this lighter form of non-REM sleep, stage 2 non-REM sleep, and much more and increasingly more rapid eye movement sleep.
And who suffers more, those that lack the early phase or those that lack the later phase of the night?
Depends on what the outcome measure is. For example, during deep non-REM sleep, that's where we get this, it's almost a form of natural blood pressure medication. And so when I take that away from you the next day, we're usually going to see autonomic dysfunction. We're usually going to see abnormalities in heart rate, blood pressure. We also know that during deep non-REM sleep that there is a certain control of specific hormones. For example, we know that the insulin regulation of sort of metabolism, meaning how will you look from a regulated blood sugar perspective versus dysregulated pre-diabetic look of profile. That's where deep sleep seems to matter. If we selectively deprive you of that, we can see
hormone.
Growth hormone is different, actually. So that's a beautiful demonstration where growth hormone seems to be more REM sleep dependent. And that's why we can come on to the effects of alcohol. And there's some really impressive, frightening data on alcohol and its disruption of sleep. But then we also know testosterone. Peak levels of testosterone happen during REM sleep.
So the second half of the night.
Which is the second half of the night.